Welcome back to my channel, Valuable Rare Coins. If you love discovering hidden treasures in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we'll uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We're focusing on a United States one-dime coin from 1967, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but actually holds a story and a value that will surprise you. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this is one coin you'll want to keep an eye on. Let's set the scene for a moment. The year 1967 was a pivotal time in U.S. history. The country was experiencing social and political shifts, with the civil rights movement in full swing and the Vietnam War raging. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint was working on producing coins, and the 1967 dimes were no exception. These coins were struck with the classic design we know so well, the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt's image, designed by John R. Sinek, has graced the dime since 1946, and it's a symbol of the nation's resilience and leadership during tough times. On the reverse side of the 1967 dime, you'll find the image of a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of freedom, peace, and strength. This design has been a part of the dime since it was first minted in 1946, and it's a powerful reminder of the country's values. So, why are some 1967 dimes worth so much money? Well, the key to the value of the 1967 dime is the rarity and condition of the coin. Like many coins, the value of a 1967 dime depends on its circulation. The vast majority of these dimes were, of course, used in everyday transactions, purchased for a dime and spent over and over again. Over time, many of these coins have worn down, become scratched, and lost their shine. So, if you happen to find a 1967 dime that's in uncirculated condition, you're looking at something special. The 1967 dime becomes even more valuable if it has any minting errors. Minting errors are relatively rare occurrences that happen when a coin is struck incorrectly. These errors can vary from double dies, where the design is doubled on the coin, to off-center strikes, where the image is not perfectly aligned. Other minting errors that can occur are die cracks, where there are visible lines or fractures in the coin's surface, and lamination errors, which can cause small layers of metal to peel off. These minting errors are what collectors look for because they make the coin even more unique. If you have a 1967 dime with a rare error, it could be worth much more than its typical value. Some collectors specialize in error coins, and a single error dime could be the centerpiece of their entire collection. As for the 1970s, the 1967 dime also holds a special place because it was made during the final years of an important era. The years immediately following the 1967 penny were a time of intense change, and the 1967 dime is an artifact of that period. With only a limited number of high-quality coins remaining, the 1967 dime has become a collector's treasure. So, what exactly can you expect a 1967 dime to be worth? If you happen to have one in pristine condition, it could fetch you a significant amount of money, especially if it's a mint error coin. A 1967 dime with a rare minting error could be valued at an astonishing $158,000. Yes, that's right, $158,000 for a dime. This is a rare occurrence, of course, and only a select few coins can command such a high price. However, it's important to keep in mind that even a 1967 dime in excellent condition without errors will still fetch you a decent price, especially if it's been carefully preserved. So, the next time you're flipping through your change jar or checking your coin collection, don't overlook that 1967 dime. It might just be worth far more than you imagined. The 1967 dime is not just a piece of currency, it's a window into a significant moment in history, and for the right collector, it's an opportunity to own a rare and valuable coin. If you're holding onto a 1967 dime, it could be worth your time to get it appraised, especially if it looks like it's in pristine condition or has an error. Remember, collectors are constantly searching for unique pieces to add to their collections, and your 1967 dime could be the next big find. In conclusion, the United States one-dime coin from 1967 is more than just a coin. It represents history, it holds potential for tremendous value, and it could be the next gem in your collection. So, always keep your eyes peeled for those hidden treasures. If you happen to have a 1967 dime in fantastic condition or with a rare minting error, don't let it slip through your fingers. It could be worth an incredible $158,000. Second rare coin, we're going to take a closer look at a true treasure from the past, a United States one-dime coin from 1894. This coin may seem simple at first glance, but trust me, it's far more than just a piece of history. For collectors and investors alike, this dime has become one of the most coveted coins in the world, and today, we're going to explore why. Let's start by setting the scene. 1894 was an incredible year in American history, sitting on the cusp of the 20th century. The country was going through massive industrial growth and political change, but in the midst of it all, the 1894 dime was quietly minted, unaware of how much of an impact it would make on the future of coin collecting. The coin we're talking about is part of the Barber dime series, named after Charles E. Barber, the chief engraver at the U.S. Mint. Now, before we get into why this specific coin is so valuable, let's take a moment to appreciate its design. On the obverse side, the 1894 dime features a portrait of Lady Liberty, wearing a crown of olive branches to symbolize peace and honor. Her face is framed by the words Liberty and the year 1894, as well as 13 stars representing the original 13 colonies. On the reverse, you'll find a traditional design that includes an eagle surrounded by a wreath, symbolizing unity and strength. The Barber dime series is known for its simple yet powerful design, making it an enduring symbol of late 19th century America. But here's where things get really interesting. Although the 1894 dime was produced in large quantities, there's something very special about a select few that makes them stand out from the rest. This is a coin with an incredible story, and its value today is absolutely staggering. Why is the 1894 dime so sought after? Well, the secret lies in its mintage numbers. In 1894, the U.S. Mint produced a relatively low number of dimes. Only 24,000 were made. But what really sets the 1894 dime apart from others is that out of that production, only one small batch was struck with a very specific and rare minting error, which makes them highly coveted by collectors. The 1894 S dime, a special variety, was struck in the San Francisco Mint, and only 9 of these coins are known to exist today. This rare batch of coins, originally minted to fulfill a high demand for dimes during the time, was misstruck, leading to their increased value. And because these errors were never widely circulated or ever intended to be part of the mainstream production, their scarcity has made them worth an incredible amount of money in the modern coin market. Now, imagine this. Out of those 9 surviving 1894 S dimes, one coin in particularly good condition was sold at auction for a record-breaking price. This one dime fetched more than $1.9 million at a public sale, making it one of the most expensive dimes ever sold. While that was an extreme case, even dimes from the same year, especially those that are well-preserved or show unique characteristics, can fetch significant amounts. What does this mean for the average collector? Well, if you happen to own a United States one-dime coin from 1894 and it's in good condition or has one of these rare minting errors, you could be holding onto a small fortune. But how much is an 1894 dime worth, really? The exact value depends on the condition of the coin, whether it has a rare minting error, and which specific version you have. While many 1894 dimes might not be worth much more than their face value, a well-preserved, rare version of this coin can be valued at a staggering $200,000. That's right, $200,000 for a single dime. To put it into perspective, you could buy a house, a car, or invest in just about anything, but instead, you'd have a piece of American history in your hands. one that has survived over a century and is now recognized as one of the most valuable dimes in existence. So, if you happen to have an 1894 dime tucked away in your collection, or if you come across one while going through your change, make sure to examine it carefully. Whether it's the rarity of the 1894 mint mark or just the overall quality and condition of the coin, you could be holding a piece of American numismatic history that could be worth a lot more than you think. In conclusion, the 1894 one-dime coin isn't just a piece of currency, it's a historical artifact, a rare collectible, and a potential treasure worth an extraordinary amount of money. Its value is driven by its history, rarity, and the incredible minting errors that make it stand out in the world of coin collecting. So, if you have an 1894 dime in your possession, you might want to take a closer look. It could be worth $200,000. Third expensive coin, we're diving into the fascinating world of the United States one-dime coin from 1974D, a coin that may look simple at first glance, but has a secret treasure hidden within its design. Whether you're an experienced collector or a newbie, this coin is one you won't want to overlook. Today, we'll explore why this particular dime is so valuable, what makes it so special, and how much it could be worth to you. First, let's take a step back in time to 1974. This was a year of significant change in the United States. The country was navigating through political shifts, economic challenges, and the tail end of the Vietnam War. In the midst of this, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins, including the famous 1974 dimes. These coins were part of the regular production of dimes and were meant to be used for everyday transactions, yet the 1974D dime has become a highly sought-after collector's item. Now, if you've ever handled a dime, you know that they're small. But there's something remarkable about the 1974D dime that sets it apart from its counterparts. On the obverse, you'll find the classic portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinnock. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, was honored with this image on the dime following his death, and it has remained a staple on the coin ever since. The coin's reverse features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of freedom, peace, and strength. At first glance, the 1974D dime might not seem all that different from the millions of other dimes produced that year. But there's one key factor that makes this particular dime rare, and that's the condition it's in. As many collectors will tell you, the value of a coin isn't always determined by how old it is, but by how well it has been preserved. Over time, dimes from this year were circulated, spent, and generally worn down, leaving only a few in pristine, uncirculated condition. When it comes to coins like this, condition is everything, and while that's important, there's something else about the 1974D dime that could significantly increase its value. Occasionally, during the minting process, a coin can have subtle imperfections or errors. These minting errors can range from slight misprints to major design flaws, but one of the most valuable features for collectors is when a coin has been produced in error in a way that makes it stand out from others. Some of the 1974D dimes have small but noticeable die cracks or striking errors, and these make them all the more valuable. The 1974D dime with minting errors can fetch a premium price, and it's precisely because these flaws are so rare and interesting to collectors. Whether it's a slight misalignment in the strike, a double die, or an odd imperfection, these dimes have become highly desirable to those in the coin collecting community. Now, let's talk about the most important question on your mind. How much could your 1974D dime be worth? If you happen to have a 1974D dime in pristine condition, maybe one that's never been circulated, or one that has a rare error, you could be looking at a surprising value. Coins that are graded as MS 65 or higher, meaning they're in almost perfect, uncirculated condition, are particularly valuable. These coins are highly sought after by collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for a flawless piece of numismatic history. A well-preserved 1974D dime can sell for upwards of $90,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $90,000 for a single dime. It's a rare find, but it's proof of just how valuable a coin can become when it's in pristine condition or features a unique minting error. So, if you have one of these dimes tucked away in your collection or hiding in a drawer somewhere, it might be time to check it out again. You could be holding onto a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1974 D dime is a coin that proves how much value can be hidden in seemingly ordinary currency. While this dime may have started its life as just another coin in circulation, its rarity, minting errors, and excellent condition make it a gem in the world of coin collecting. If you're lucky enough to own one of these dimes in great shape or with an interesting error, you might just have a small treasure worth $90,000. Especially, we're diving into the world of United States coins, specifically the 1980 D1 dime coin. While dimes are often overlooked in the world of numismatics, this particular coin is one that collectors are keeping an eye on. You might have a dime from 1980 sitting around in your collection, or even just stashed away in a jar of change, and little do you know, it could be worth a lot more than you expect. So, let's explore why the 1980 D dime is more than just a regular piece of change, and what makes it special in the coin collecting world. Let's start with a little history. The 1980 D dime was minted during a time of transition for the U.S. economy. In the late 70s and early 80s, the U.S. was dealing with a number of economic challenges, including inflation and rising interest rates. However, the U.S. Mint was still at work producing coins like the dime, which had already been in circulation for decades. By 1980, the design of the dime had remained the same since 1946, with President Franklin D. Roosevelt gracing the obverse, and the reverse featuring the iconic torch, olive branch, and oak branch. The design was created by John R. Sinek, and Roosevelt's image has remained a constant on dimes ever since. Now, let's get into what makes the 1980 D dime worth talking about. While dimes from this year were minted in large quantities and circulated widely, there are a few factors that can elevate the value of this particular coin. The first and most important factor is condition. Like any collectible, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Most of the 1980 D dimes you'll find will have been circulated over the years, showing signs of wear and tear. However, if you happen to have a dime that is in uncirculated condition, you could be looking at something very special. Coins that are in mint state, especially those that have never been in circulation, can fetch higher prices due to their pristine quality. If your 1980 D dime is free from scratches, discoloration, or damage, it could be worth significantly more than the face value of 10 cents. Coins in MS 65 or higher condition are particularly desirable to collectors, and they can demand quite a premium. Another key factor to consider is the possibility of mint errors. During the minting process, occasionally, coins don't come out perfect. These errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are unique and rare. Some 1980 D dimes may have small but notable die cracks, striking errors, or off-center strikes. These imperfections could be the key to unlocking a higher value for your dime. Let's talk about a particularly important feature in coin collecting: rarity. While the 1980 D dime was minted in large numbers, only a small fraction of those coins will have survived in mint condition or with rare errors. This makes finding a pristine 1980 D dime a real treasure. Most of the coins produced back in 1980 went into circulation and were eventually spent or worn down over time. So, if you happen to have one that's well-preserved or has an unusual error, you could be holding onto something really special. Now, for the big question on your mind, how much could your 1980 D dime be worth? If you have one of these dimes in excellent condition with no signs of wear or damage, it could be worth $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, $60,000 for a single dime. It might sound surprising, but the value of a well-preserved or error-filled coin can skyrocket in the world of collectors, especially when it's a rare find like the 1980 D dime. To sum it all up, the 1980 D dime is a coin that proves the value of rare and well-preserved pieces of currency. Whether you've inherited a coin collection or just happened to stumble across one of these dimes in your change, it's worth taking a closer look. The key to finding out if your 1980D dime is valuable lies in its condition and any potential mint errors. If you have one in great shape or with a unique characteristic, you might just have a small fortune on your hands. Next coin, we're talking about the 1991p United States 1 dime coin. This dime, though produced in millions, is one that stands out in the world of numismatics for a variety of reasons. While the coin might seem like just another dime from the early 90s, its value and appeal to collectors have been steadily increasing over the years. In fact, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Let's take a trip back to 1991. This was a year of significant changes both in the US and around the world. The economy was recovering from the late 80s recession, and the country was dealing with the aftermath of the Cold War. The US Mint was hard at work producing coins, and one of the key players in circulation that year was the 1991p dime. This coin features Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, designed by John R. Sinek. Roosevelt's image on the dime has become iconic, representing his leadership during the Great Depression and his role in founding Social Security. The reverse side features the symbolic torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which are symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1991p dime stand out in the world of coin collecting. While millions of these coins were produced in Philadelphia, denoted by the P mint mark, their true value is determined by a few key factors: condition, rarity, and minting errors. The vast majority of 1991p dimes are still in circulation today, which means they've gone through years of wear and tear. Most of these coins are worn out, damaged, or simply aren't in great condition. But here's where things get interesting. A 1991p dime that has been preserved in mint condition, free from scratches, dings, or discoloration, can fetch a much higher price than what you might expect. Coins that are graded as MS 65 or higher are especially valuable because they have been well preserved and remain in excellent shape. If you happen to have one of these uncirculated dimes, it could be worth a pretty penny. In fact, finding a dime from 1991 in this condition is quite rare, and the demand from collectors is growing. But that's not all. In addition to the well-preserved condition, there's also the possibility that your 1991p dime could have a minting error. During the minting process, coins don't always come out perfect, and when these errors happen, they can make the coin even more valuable. For example, some 1991p dimes were struck off-center, resulting in a unique design with part of the coin missing. Other errors could include double dies or misprints on the reverse side. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare, one-of-a-kind mistakes, and if you happen to have one of these error coins in your collection, it could significantly boost its value. The 1991p dime has become one of those coins that collectors love to seek out. Whether it's because of the great design, the historical significance, or the possibility of finding a rare minting error, this coin holds appeal to a wide range of enthusiasts. The 1991p dime is part of a long tradition of coins that have captured the attention of numismatists, and as the years pass, its rarity in good condition is only going to increase. So, how much is this 1991p dime worth? If you've managed to hold on to a well-preserved, uncirculated coin, or you've stumbled upon a dime with a minting error, the value can be astonishing. You could be looking at a price tag of up to $49,000. That's right, $49,000 for a single dime. It's hard to believe that something as small as a dime could hold that much value, but in the world of rare coins, condition and rarity are everything. To sum it up, the 1991p dime may have seemed like just another coin in circulation, but with the right combination of condition and rarity, it's now a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. Whether it's a flawless, uncirculated example or a rare error coin, this dime could be worth a lot more than you think. So, if you have a collection of coins, it might be time to go through your dimes from 1991 and see if you're holding onto something truly valuable. Last unique coin, we're delving into a truly fascinating coin from the late 20th century, the 1999p United States 1 dime coin. This small, seemingly ordinary dime could be hiding a big surprise for those with the keen eye of a numismatist. While most people think of dimes as being pretty standard, there's something special about this particular coin that could make it a treasure worth a small fortune. Stick with us as we explore why the 1999p dime is not only historically significant, but also an exciting find for collectors. First, let's set the scene. The year was 1999, and America was on the brink of entering a new millennium. There was a sense of anticipation in the air as the country prepared for the Y2K scare, and many people were thinking about the future. At the same time, the United States Mint was busy producing the familiar coins that we would all continue to use every day. One of the key players in circulation that year was the 1999p dime, which carried the iconic image of Franklin D. Roosevelt on its obverse, designed by John R. Cynic. Roosevelt's portrait is instantly recognizable, representing the leadership he showed during the Great Depression and his instrumental role in establishing Social Security. On the reverse side, we see the traditional design of the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols that represent liberty, peace, and strength. While this design has remained largely unchanged for decades, the 1999p dime holds particular appeal due to its significance in the context of American history, as it marks the last year before the country would turn the page to a new millennium. Now, what makes the 1999p dime stand out in the world of coin collecting? There are a few factors at play here. As with any coin, the value of the 1999p dime depends largely on its condition, rarity, and any potential errors that might make it unique. The vast majority of these dimes were minted and circulated, meaning that most of them have seen years of wear and tear. However, those that have been preserved in pristine condition are highly coveted by collectors. If you've got a 1999p dime that is still in uncirculated or mint condition, you're looking at a coin that could be worth much more than the face value of 10 cents. But here's where things get interesting. The 1999p dime is part of a series of coins that were produced during a time when the minting process was evolving, and subtle variations or errors can make certain coins particularly rare. Some 1999p dimes might exhibit minting errors, such as misstrikes or double dies, which add a layer of uniqueness that could drastically increase the value of the coin. These types of errors are highly prized among collectors because they are one of a kind, and finding one can be like striking gold. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with these types of flaws, because they provide a glimpse into the minting process and are a reminder that even mass-produced coins can have their quirks. If you happen to find a 1999p dime with an error, whether it's a misalignment of the design or an unusual die crack, you could be in possession of a highly valuable collectible. Some of these error coins can sell for far more than anyone might expect. So, how much could a 1999p dime be worth? While most of these coins are not worth more than a couple of dollars, a well-preserved example or one with an interesting error can fetch a price that will make you take a second look. In fact, if you happen to have an error-free coin in exceptional condition, you could see it valued at $40,000. That's right, $40,000 for a single dime, which might seem unbelievable at first, but in the world of rare coins, anything is possible. To sum it up, the 1999p dime may seem like a regular, everyday coin, but it holds tremendous potential for collectors who know what to look for. Whether it's a rare error or an example in mint condition, this dime could be hiding a valuable treasure in your collection. So, next time you're sorting through your coins, be sure to take a closer look at any 1999p dimes you come across. You never know, you might just have a dime that's worth far more than 10 cents. Thank you for joining us in today's exploration of the 1999p dime. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Happy collecting, and who knows, your next coin might just make you a fortune.